Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for today's free practice. It is the 1st of February, so we are going to do some yoga. I have Fritz here as always. As soon as I start talking, here he comes. So yeah, we're going to do this. If you have any props that you'd like to grab, you can go ahead and pause the video and grab them. Some that I would recommend that you have on hand is a blanket, blocks, a bolster. If you don't have any of those things, that is perfectly okay. You don't have to have them. We can make adjustments. We can use other things. You don't have to have any expensive yoga props. Do make sure you have a good non-skid surface, so whether that be a mat or something else. Otherwise, I will meet you on the mat in a comfortable cross-legged seat. So whatever that looks like to you. There's Sam. Maybe we'll see him. Now, if your knees are a little bit cranky, you can come and sit on something like a blanket or a pillow or a bolster. That's going to lift up your hips, and it's a little bit easier on the knees. So if you do have cranky knees, sit on something. Okay. So we're just going to come to this seat. Your palms can just be on your lap, hands facing up or down, it doesn't really matter. And then just breathe. Maybe set an intention. You can close down the eyes if you'd like, if that feels comfortable for you and safe. If not, just soften your gaze. And we're just going to take some time to set our pin right where it is, let go of the day thus far. Thank ourselves for taking this time out for ourselves, out of our busy lives. Release any stress, any anxiety, your to-do list. And really just take a few moments now just to focus on just your breath. Make sure you're taking nice big inhales and nice big exhales. Sometimes it can help to choose a word like relax. And as you inhale, you just say the word to yourself. So I would inhale and say relax, and then on the exhale, I would say relax just in my mind. And you can do that with any word. So maybe instead of relax, you choose calm, or focused, or happy, or just any word that is resonating with you. And if that doesn't feel good in your body, you don't have to do that either. You can just take this moment just to zen out and chill out. Wherever you're at, let's take one big inhale together. Hold it at the top for just a beat. And then just exhale it out, sigh it out. Right, you can return your breathing to normal. If your eyes were closed, you can open them back up. We're going to start to stretch everything out. So let's place our right hand, or if you'd like to do your left hand, we'll just switch it, but I'm going to place my right hand down on the floor. On the inhale, let's reach our left arm up to the ceiling, and then exhale, go ahead and cross that midline over to the right. You'll feel a nice stretch in your left side body. And breathe. Here's a Sam. Hello. One more inhale here. And then exhale, return to center, lower your arms down. Just take a couple breaths here, compare both sides. Can we go sit down, please? Let's go sit down on the blanket. He has his own blanket. All right, let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So we'll bring our left hand down at our side. Inhale, let's reach our right arm up to the sky. And then exhale, we'll cross the midline, coming over to the left, feeling a nice stretch in our right side body. And breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll return it back to center. Again, just feel both sides for just a couple breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to transition to all fours. So just a nice tabletop position. Hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, wrists, everything in line. Hips under, or knees underneath your hips. Back nice and flat. And we're going to warm up our spine. So on your inhale, we're going to drop our lower ribs, lift our tail, lift our chest, look forward, coming into a cow posture. Exhale, round through the spine, drop the tail, drop the head, cat. Inhale, dropping back into our cow pose. Exhale, rounding the spine into cat. Go ahead and do a few more just on your own inhales and exhales. After your next cat pose, go ahead and return back to your neutral tabletop position, and then look down at your hands. So they should be right underneath your shoulders. We're going to walk our hands just one handprint in front of where they were. So now it's going to be at a little bit more of an angle. Keep your fingers facing forward. Really push into your thumb, your pointer finger, and your middle finger. We're going to tuck our toes under. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, go ahead and lift the knees off the ground, straight through the legs. Push back through the hands, really bringing energy through the front body and then down through the back of the legs. And then try and reach your heels down to the mat. If they don't reach, that is perfectly okay. Mine do not. You're going to feel a nice stretch in the back of the legs and in the back body. If you'd like, you can take your dog for a walk. So we're now in a downward facing dog. Walking your dog, you're just going to bend one knee and then straighten the other. And you'll just move back and forth. Bending and straightening until you feel like those lower legs are warmed up a little bit. Your calves are stretched out. And then go ahead and bring that to stillness. And breathe, just let your head hang. Now on your next inhale, make sure that your left foot is firmly planted into the mat. We're going to lift our right toes up, keep the toes down to start, and then go ahead and bring it up further. Bend your right knee and then stack your hips. So this is a nice big hip opener. It's three-legged dog. Make sure that you're putting equal pressure into your hands and you're not dumping all of the weight onto your left side. Breathe here. One more inhale. Then on the exhale, go ahead and straighten it back out. Bring that right knee in towards your chest. We'll step our right foot in between our hands. Go ahead and lower down onto that left knee for just a moment. We're going to come into a nice low lunge. So in this low lunge, your right knee should be at a 90-degree angle. If you look down, you should be able to see your big toe. Also, make sure that your spine is nice and straight. You're not rounding and collapsing, so you want to keep that lift in your chest. And if you're having any difficulties getting into this position, You can always use blocks to bring the floor up to you, and you can have them on different settings here. You can also just bring your toe or your fingertips to the mat. Make sure to pull your right hip crease back. You'll feel a nice big stretch in this left quad here. Breathe. Don't forget to breathe. One more big inhale here. And then wherever you're at, go ahead and plant your hands back down to the mat. Tuck your left toes under. Lift that left knee up. And when you're ready, we're going to step our right foot back into our downward facing dog. And just breathe. When you're ready, let's make sure our right foot is firmly planted in the mat this time. This time, we've got to do that whole sequence on this other side. So we'll lift our left toes up, keep them dialed down at first, just to get our bearings. Then when you're ready, you can lift that foot up higher, go ahead and bend at the knee, stack those hips, coming in to our three-legged dog here. And breathe. When you're ready, after your next exhale, go ahead and straighten that back out. We'll bend that knee into our chest, and then we'll step our left foot in between our hands, lowering down on that right knee, coming into our low lunge on this side. Make sure to pull that left hip crease back, feeling that nice big stretch in your right thigh. All right, when you're ready, we'll tuck our right toes under, lift that right knee up, make sure your palms are planted, and this time just rock back and forth on that right foot, and we're going to step our right foot up to meet our left at the top of our mat. Inhale, go ahead and come up halfway, keep a nice flat back. You'll want to keep a little bit of a bend in the knee, not a big bend, but just a little one. Exhale, go ahead and melt everything down, coming into our forward fold. Now again, if you'd like to bring the floor up to you, you can have blocks handy or just anything else that you can use to, again, bring that floor up to you. You can also use your blocks on different settings, or you could just use your hands on the ground, your fingertips. If you don't have any of those things and none of that's working, you can also just come up to rest your hands on your shins or even your quads, depending on your flexibility. Just make sure you're not pressing on your knees. You can also bend your knees more or less to bring that ground up to you. So you have lots of options here. Either way, just breathe. Still warming up, getting a nice big stretch in these hamstrings here. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll slowly roll up just one vertebrae at a time until we're standing at the top of the mat. You can loop your shoulders up, back, and down. We're going to come into our mountain pose. Now in mountain pose, your shoulder, hips, knees, and ankles should be in one straight line. You're looking forward, chest nice and lifted, shoulders down. You're not wearing them as earrings. And you're just embodying that strong mountain. Hands at your side, just breathe. Really feel the ground underneath you. So you can wiggle your toes on the mat and really kind of grip it and feel it, just to bring sensation into your feet so you feel that grounding effect. You can pick up your feet. If you're having problems connecting, just breathe here for a moment. Now, if you'd like, you can turn onto the long end of your mat like I did. And we're gonna step our feet out a little ways, so past hip distance. Turn the toes out, heels in. And then we're gonna start out here with just our hands on our hips, just to kind of start. We're gonna go into a nice big power pose, just to bring in some confidence. This is something that you can do anywhere. So if you have something big for work coming up, this is a good posture to really get into your power. So we've grounded, we're going to get into our power. Now maybe you want to stay here with your hands on your hips, or if you'd like to go into the full pose, you can reach your arms out to the side, coming into like a big X. This is called star pose. So you'll feel a nice big stretch through your front body, through your legs and your arms. You're taking up space. Breathe. When you're ready, we'll lower the arms down. Go ahead and bring them back to the hips. We're going to stretch out our inner thighs a little bit more. So we'll take our legs out even more and then start to bend at the knees and come down. And again, your hands can be at the hips or you can bring them to a prayer position. We're just going to lower down into what's known as God or goddess pose. Sometimes it's called horse stance, but you'll just lower down. Now, only lower down as low as it feels good to you. So maybe you're just here. Maybe you have just a little bend. That's perfect. Stay there. If you'd like to go down lower, you can. You should feel a nice big stretch on your inner thighs here. So just breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, go ahead and rise back up. You can heel toe your feet together. We're going to come back to the top of our mat. Just reset. Inhale, go ahead and sweep the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bend forward. We're going to come back down into that forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it all go and just breathe. Inhale, look forward. Make sure your hands are planted to the mat. Step one foot back and then the other. And we're coming into our first plank of the day. Plank is not for you. Go ahead and lower into half plank. Just lower your knees down. Otherwise, really push back through the heels. Make sure you're in a straight line without your hips dipping down or shifting up, and breathe. Now I'm going to challenge you. Go ahead and make sure that that right hand is firmly planted in the mat. Come on the outside of your right foot, the inside of your left foot, and then we're going to just stack our hips here. Your hand can be at the waist. You can lift your arm to the ceiling, or you can bring your right foot down to the mat and come into kind of like this half side plank. If you're advanced, you can stack your feet. I kind of like my kickstand here. Breathe. One more breath. And then we'll plant our left hand back down to the mat. Go ahead and come back through that plank, and we're going to switch sides. So we're going to come onto the left outer edge of our foot, inner arch of our right, stacking our hips, lifting our right arm to the ceiling. Again, you can always drop that left leg down to the mat. Breathe. One more big inhale here. Lift those hips up. Exhale, go ahead and plant your right foot. Come back through that plank. And then lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes. Woo, good job. That is a difficult one, but we won't do too many more planks. So, good job. Just wanted to heat everybody up a little bit. All right. So go ahead and bring your hands in line with your chest. On the inhale, just slowly look forward, bringing your chest off the ground a little bit. So we're just coming into a little baby cobra to warm up to start. We'll grow this in a little bit. On your next exhale, go ahead and lower your forehead to the floor. And when you're ready, we'll push ourselves up to all fours. Bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, sink your hips back towards your heels. You can walk your fingertips forward. Melt your chest and your forehead to the mat. Just coming into an extended child's pose and breathe. Whenever you're ready, look forward. We're going to walk it back up once again to all fours. And we're going to flow for just a little bit. So let's walk our hands, just that one handprint in front of where they are, so you're not quite in tabletop position. We're going to curl our toes under. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, go ahead and straighten through the legs. Push your hips back, coming into our downward facing dog. And then just breathe. After your next exhale, go ahead and make sure your left foot is firmly planted into the mat. We're going to lift our right leg up. Keep your toes dialed down here. And then on your exhale, we'll shift the weight forward, bringing that right knee in towards our chest once again. Step that right foot in between our hands. Go ahead and pivot on that left foot. And then really using your core, go ahead and rise up. We're going to move into a warrior one. Again, your base is going to be kind of set up like it was for our low lunge. So your front knee, so my right knee is going to be at a nice 90-degree angle. When I look down, I should be able to see my big toe. My hips are going to be squared toward the short edge of the mat. There's a little bit of a turn out in my left foot here towards this left end of the mat. And then your hands can be at your hips. You can bring them to prayer, or you can extend them up overhead looking forward. If you are extending your arms up overhead, make sure you're not wearing your shoulders as earrings. So pull your shoulder blades together. And then just stand in this posture really strong and proud and tall. You're a warrior. And breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale. We'll float the arms down towards the mat. Go ahead and bring your hands all the way down to the mat. Step that left foot back, coming back into that low lunge. Stay here for just a couple breaths, really feeling that stretch through the left quad again. Now when you're ready, let's plant our palms. We're going to step our right leg back to meet our left, coming back into our plank pose for just a breath or two. Breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, let's lower it all the way back down to the mat, untuck the toes. And on our inhale, we can look forward, coming into that baby cobra, or if you'd like to grow it a little bit, really press through your hands and rise up into your full cobra. If you feel any crunchiness in your lower back, lower it down a little bit. Also, make sure, once again, you're not wearing your shoulders as earrings. So you don't want to be here collapsing. Really roll those shoulders back and down. And breathe. Feeling a nice stretch through your front body here. One more big inhale here. And then exhale. Let's lower it all the way back down to the mat. Woo! All right, so we are going to move back into downward facing dog. So there are some options here. I'm going to leave it up to you. So yogi's choice. You can come to all fours and then move into downward dog like we've done. Or you can come with me and we're going to move through a plank and then into down dog. So it just kind of depends on how many planks you want to do today. We don't have that many more coming up, just a couple more. But again, leaving it up to you. So if you are moving through tabletop into downward dog, we'll meet you there in a second. Otherwise, if you're coming through plank with me, we'll go ahead and get started. So inhale to prepare. Let's go ahead and tuck our toes under. And then on the exhale, we'll push through the hands, really power up and lift ourselves up into that strong plank. Inhale once again to prepare. And then on our exhale, we'll shift our hips back, pushing through the hands, coming into our downward facing dog. And then just breathe here for a moment. Nice big full inhales and exhales. Let's take one more together. Exhale, maybe just shake it out. Then when you're ready, let's make sure our right foot is firmly planted into the mat. Inhale, we'll lift our left leg up. Keep your toes dialed down. Exhale, bend the knee, shift forward, look forward. We'll step our left foot in between our hands. Maybe hop up a little bit on our right foot, angling it out just a little bit. And then when you're ready, let's take an inhale. And then on the exhale, using our core muscles, we're going to rise up, coming into our strong warrior one. So if you need to make adjustments, you can. So you might have to step that right foot up a little bit. So make sure that you're just nice and solid. You don't want to fall forward. If you find your balance is off, make sure that you are on parallel train tracks. You're not on the same train track with your feet. That can help with balance. Make sure your hips are squared off. Make sure you can see your big toe. And then you can take your hands, hips, prayer, or extended above with your shoulder blades down, and breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, let's float our hands down to the mat. Go ahead and kick your right leg back out. Keep your right knee just up off the mat. If that doesn't feel good to you, you can lower it down just for a moment. But otherwise, try it out. See what it feels like. Breathe for just a moment. Look forward, smile. And when you're ready, let's plant our palms. We'll kick our left foot back. We'll come into our last plank. Last one, I promise. Breathe. You can always lower to the knees if you'd like. One more big inhale here. Exhale, lower down all the way to the ground. Untuck the toes. And on your next inhale, you can rise up into the cobra posture of your choosing. And breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale. Let's lower it back down. Whew. All right. From here, go ahead and come up to all fours. And then we're going to walk our hands back and then just come to sit on our heels. This is called hero's pose. Now, if this is not working for you, just come into a comfortable cross-legged seat. If it's hard on your knees to do this, you can bring a towel underneath or a blanket to kind of pad them. Or if this just isn't working for you, you can take a block or a pillow and you can just sit on it. That can help also. So you have some choices. And again, none of those work for you. Just come into a comfortable cross-legged seat. But you're going to sit up nice and straight and tall. Breathe. I warmed you guys up kind of early, so now we're going to bring it back down now. Let's take a little bit of a twist here. So just go ahead and take your hands over to the right side. Bring your torso over to the right. Just look over towards the right. So just a little twist, not a big one. And breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll return to center, and then we'll turn over towards the left. Make sure you're not taking your hand and cranking yourself over either. Only go as far as it feels comfortable to you and your body. That's going to be different for everyone. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, we'll return it to center. Now, if you're already in a cross-legged seat, perfect. If you're with me in this hero's pose, just go ahead and shift to one side, and then we're going to swing it around. All right, so we are going to do a little bit of a balancing, and also it's a core strengthening move. Don't feel intimidated by it. Don't push yourself too far if it's not in your practice already. I'm going to give different levels. So we're going to start out low and we'll build up. Only go as far as it feels comfortable to you. Don't push yourself to go beyond your limits. Be kind to your body. This is just something to play and practice with. So go ahead and come to sit on your booty, on your tailbone here. And then bring your feet to the floor, knees bent in front of you. Sit up nice and straight and tall, and we're just going to take our hands behind our thighs, looking forward. So we're moving into something called boat pose. This is the first step of boat pose. For some people, this is going to be where you stay, and that is perfectly okay. Work on making sure that your back is straight. You're not rounding through the spine and collapsing. You want to be sitting up nice and straight and tall. This is going to help with your posture. And you can even kind of lean back. Let your arms holding onto your thighs catch you here. Make sure you're breathing. Now, if you want to kick it up a notch, maybe you lift one leg, then the other, and you just play with that for a moment. Maybe you play with lifting both feet up. Make sure you're not losing your posture here. You're not losing how tall and straight you're sitting up. Maybe you let go of one hand, and then the other. Maybe you let go of both hands, and you just balance on your booty. And then if you'd like to go full-blown boat, you can straighten through the legs, bringing your palms up to the sky like, please help me, please help me. Really engage those core muscles. Keep your back nice and flat. And if you're shaking, great. Breathe. And when you're ready, go ahead and let it all go. That's kind of a fun pose. It's great for increasing your focus and just your body awareness, because you do have to have a lot of awareness of what your body is doing. It's also going to, if you're feeling sluggish, that move will boost your energy. Whew. And again, that's going to strengthen your core, your thighs. It helps your posture and those back muscles. So even if you're not to this full boat pose yet, you can do those other options and work up to it. And if you never get to full boat pose, that's okay. It's not a big deal. All right, let's go ahead, bring your feet back to the mat, and go ahead, let's go back onto our backs here. Oh, finally, yay. Keep your feet on the mat. Let's cross our left ankle over our right thigh, and then let's bring our right thigh in towards our chest. Now you can take your hands around the back of your right thigh or across the front of your right shin. Bring that knee in towards your chest as far as it feels good to you. Keep your feet nice and bright and flexed. And you're going to feel a nice big stretch on this outer left thigh here. So just a nice little figure 4 stretch here. And breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, go ahead and lower that foot down to the floor. You can uncross your legs. Take a moment, just breathe, compare both sides. All right, when you're ready, let's cross our left foot over our our right foot over our left thigh. And then we'll come back into that figure 4 stretch, your version. And then just breathe. One more big breath here. And then exhale, let's lower our feet down to the mat. You can uncross that foot from the ankle, or that ankle from the thigh. I cannot talk today, apparently. Stretch out both your legs. We're going to do one last twist here before we move into our final resting posture. Go ahead and bring your right thigh in towards your chest. Give it a nice big hug. On your next inhale, go ahead and cross that right knee across your midline over to the left. Keep your right shoulder blade on the mat. You can stretch that right hand out towards the side. You can also bring your left hand out to the side so you're like in a big Texas T. Or you can take your left hand and just place it gently on that right thigh for a deeper stretch. Make sure you're not pressing on that leg though, and make sure you're especially not pressing on your knee. We never want to press on our knee. If you'd like, you can look over at your right hand that's extended out. And just breathe here for a moment, feeling that nice big stretch in your lower back. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, go ahead and return to center. Extend that right leg out. Then we'll bring that left knee in towards our chest. Give it a hug. Breathe for just a moment. And on your next inhale, we'll go ahead and cross that left leg over towards the right. Extend that left arm out. Again, you can also extend the right arm out if you'd like, or you can bring it to the top of the thigh and then extend your left palm just straight out, and you can look over at it if you'd like. And breathe. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, let's return it back to center. You can extend that left leg out long. Take up as much space as you'd like on your mat. We're going to let our feet just fall out to the side. You can let your arms fall out at a 90-degree angle. Make sure you snuggle your shoulder blades underneath your heart center. If you'd like to grab any blankets to cover up with, a pillow, any props that you have for our final resting pose, you can. Otherwise, if it feels safe in your body, you can just close down the eyes We're going to take a moment in this final resting posture just to let the benefits of our practice marinate in our body. Maybe you use this time to thank yourself and your body for all of the work you just put in. We did some difficult poses. Those side planks were a killer. A boat pose for sure. I'm going to go quiet for just a moment and let you relax, but I will guide you out of this posture in just a moment. So the card that I pulled for today's practice is Sandpiper Spirit. And its message is to be playful. Sandpipers are like cute little clowns poking their beaks into the sand before darting off to chase the waves. The appearance of Sandpiper Spirit is a sign that now is a time to engage your playfulness. Whatever tasks you have before you, perform them with a lightness of being. Explore the familiar, discovering the new in the old. Who knows what treasures await you when you let yourself laugh and have fun? Sandpiper Spirit's happy and curious nature can help you to feel rejuvenated as you remember your ability to run and fly and dance playfully. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana, then stay as long as time allows. If you need to get going with your day, then slowly start to deepen your breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, just bringing some life back into them. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and slowly place both feet on the mat. Keep your knees bent. And then roll to your favorite side and just stay there for a moment, just breathing in a nice, comfortable fetal position. You can use your lower or your bottom arm as a little pillow. And then whenever you're ready, you can slowly start to bring yourself up to a nice comfortable seat, bringing the head and neck up last. And whenever you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes and come back to the world around you. thank you so much for joining me and spending your time and your energy and sharing your practice with me. I really appreciate it. If you like this practice and you don't subscribe to the on-demand platform that is on Patreon, I have the link in the bio. So if you're interested in more yoga flows like this, then definitely check that out. I have a new feature that I have not announced. I was so excited to get it, but you get a 7-day free trial on that platform on Patreon. It's under Shine On Yoga, just like this channel is. And every week I upload a new yoga practice. So you'll have one for each month, and then you also get access to all of the past videos that I have done. So if you have, there's shorter ones, there's longer ones, so it depends on how much time you have and just what you want to work on. But I put the descriptions in there. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. Take advantage of that 7-day free trial. If you know if you know anyone that would benefit from these practices or you think would like them, please share this with them. I do everything through word of mouth, so that helps me out too. And that just gets the word out to other people. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you subscribe, then every month you'll get notified as soon as I put out my new monthly one. I usually wait about a day before I make the announcement on the socials, so you'll know ahead of time. Otherwise, I will see you either over on Patreon next week, or I'll see you next month for a whole brand new practice. And I don't know where Fritz went, but he was here. Sunday is his birthday. He'll be 2. So he's growing up fast. You guys have kind of watched him grow up on this channel. So that's just fun to look back and see those older videos with little Fritz, and now he's a big boy. So anyway, thank you again. I hope you have a wonderful month. Namaste.